You know, I heard a long time ago that you're supposed to talk to your plants. Well, I've been cussing this damn goat weed for 2 weeks and it ain't died yet. Well, everybody, and welcome back to D-Ray Wanda's Farm. Yeah, I keep wanting to say D-Ray's shop, I know. Well, my future's so bright, I gotta wear shades, yeah. Now, it's middle of July here in rural Arkansas. And of course, in the springtime, we have problems with what we call bitter weeds. And so I have to spray for those. And then as long as we have plenty of rain, the pasture usually produces plenty enough grass to graze the cows on. But this time of year, June, July-ish, we get what's it's called woolly croton, but we refer to it as goat weed. I think other states they call it hogwort or something like that. But anyway, it's a broadleaf weed that will choke out your grass, and it'll just take over your dadgum pasture if you allow it to. So I'm out here on the tractor today, and got my spray rig on the back, right here spraying this stuff. Now, according to the University of Arkansas, you're supposed to spray your woolly croton before it gets higher than 12 inches tall, because that's when it goes to seed and it explodes all over your pasture. And you know, good thing, bad thing, we've had a fair amount of rain here recently, and so it seems like every time I've tried to get out here and spray, it's either raining or it's threatening to rain, you know, and I'm afraid to get out here and spray this stuff out here and just have it off and on. Get out the way, cow. Now, this stuff that I'm spraying, since I'm shooing cows out of the way, I think, man, what are you done spraying that stuff out there with those cows on? Well, this stuff is, it's a derivative of a product called Grazon, which is a broadleaf weed herbicide that you can spray. Excuse me while I make a tiny jump. You can spray this stuff while you have livestock actively grazing, so it's safe to put out there while they're eating on it. And so yeah, I'm out here just spraying around. I have to kind of watch what I'm doing here and make sure that I get a good overlap, but I'm not wasting the product, because this stuff is not cheap. As a matter of fact, it's a little cheaper if you have your restricted use pesticide permit through the state of Arkansas, which I do. You can buy it in a large enough quantity that's a little less expensive. Otherwise, you have to go to your local farm store or feed and seed, and you buy it by the quart, and it's expensive. They do make versions of it that you can purchase without a restricted use herbicide permit, and it's even more expensive. And I have done that in the past before I finally ponied up and went to the Cooperative Extension Service when they had a school back in the winter to take a class so that I can get properly certified through the state. Ooh, I'm bona fide.
He's bona fide. What are you?
See, I'm out here in this little back pasture, and it's not bad. I've got a few spots where it's just growing up in patches, but if you don't spray the entire pasture, you know, where you don't think you've got any yet, there'll be just a little old sprig of it growing that you'll overlook. Next thing you know, it's all sprouting back up in a different spot. So the best thing to do is just go ahead out here and just treat the entire pasture, and that way, one less thing to worry about. I'm just looking over my shoulder every once in a while, making sure all my spray nozzles are spraying, keeping an eye on where the cows are. I don't know if you'll see it or not. There's cows right back there. And like I said, I'm in this little small pasture. This little back pasture I've got back here, it's probably not but maybe an acre or two. So it won't take long to do that. And I'm going to work my way up toward the middle pasture where the pond is, and then eventually get up to the front pasture. Die, you dang goat weeds, die! One little side note, I did take one of our steers to the sale last week. I don't know what beef prices are in y'all's area, but took a little Little steer up there. He's right at 2 years old or so, weighed about 650 pounds. At that particular day, slaughter cattle were bringing about $175 per hundredweight, which ain't bad. So, we were kind of on the bubble about what we wanted to do because, we like to keep a beef to slaughter, and he's going to be a good, once you feed him on out. But we also still have a fair amount of beef still in our freezer. So, and with cattle prices going like they are right now, we thought it'd be a good time just to go ahead and sell him. That kind of offsets our cost of our hay and feed and everything that we use through the winter. And that's all part of this operation. It's got to sustain itself to a certain degree. And even though it is a hobby, it still has to pay for itself. Wanda and I enjoy getting out here and working our place, and she likes to kind of do the behind the scenes thing, but occasionally I get her out here with me, and we get to work together on video projects. But that doesn't mean that she's not out here busting her butt the same that I am, making sure we're keeping everything going like it needs to be. Move it. Dumb cow. Now this is what I refer to as the cow spot. This is a little shady spot out by the pond. They get shady over here in the afternoons and the cows all hang out. Stay cool. Things you might find in a YouTuber's tractor cab. Camera tripod. Rubber bands to hold your camera in place. And a hairbrush. Can't do without that. Otherwise you'll deal with something kind of like this. But anywho, that's what's going on out here today on the farm. So I'm going to get back to try to pay attention to what I'm doing here. And as always, appreciate y'all stopping by the farm. If you like the videos that we're doing, be sure that you subscribe to our channel. Click that notification bell so that you can get notifications of our future videos. Swing out here again sometime. You never know what we're going to be up to next. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch y'all next time around.
He's bona fide.